not a Martial podcast, but I'm just going to say this, yeah. Martial's been at Man United for a minute. Listen, I'm not taking that away from him. He cost peas. And no, I do not believe a Man United fan can sit here and tell me that Martial has been a success at Man United.
He's a striker.
What? Wait.
He got stuck on the wing.
I'm just saying. That's my thing.
Wesley, you say that. Go on, Wesley, you say that.
He's a striker. Whether he's a striker or not, has Martial performed to the level of expectation that you signed him for?
You know what?
When he's played up,
has Martial? No. Is it yes or no question?
Yes, he has.
Has Martial performed to the level?
Because when he was playing under LVG, he was cold. You don't. You see, Wesley, you don't like it. No. Let me finish. When he was playing under LVG, he was cold, and then he gets Jose, and then when you've got a manager like Jose that basically tries to force you out the club, just. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Everyone's a Pundit, and this is episode 39. I'm your guy, Semps, and I've got some people here with me that want to chat some football because, as you know, this is Everyone's a Pundit and everyone's a pundit. So, let's introduce ourselves, people. Pat?
Yo, it's Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know it represents T. Let go.
Pop. John?
Yeah, it's John, massive Liverpool fan. Been on here a few times, so thanks for the invite, Sim. Again, love you.
You're welcome, my G. And last but not least,
Big Wesley, the big gooner with the big mouth.
Yeah, you done though. He definitely has a big mouth.
Yeah. I want to boo him, but I can't. He's my guy still.
Hope you guys are all well. For those listening on the audio, this will be out on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. So share about with your people. And for the visuals, it's going to be on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you enjoy, then hit the like button and then also share about with your peoples in your WhatsApp groups. So yeah, man, we're going to get into today's show. So we've got a few topics for you today. First of all, we're going to discuss Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool have won the league, so we have to give them kudos and speak about them and what's next for them. A chat which I'm very interested to get into, Arteta versus Jose. So we're going to get into that today as well. And how good is Mason Greenwood, man? I wanna know what these guys have got to say, because it's funny, I was looking at some old Everyone's a Pundit videos and your man Semps has called it Mason Greenwood, but people don't want to listen to me anyway. So anyway, I want to hear what these guys have got to say. We'll touch on the relegation battle and also the top four race, and then we'll finish with question time because we've got one or two questions to answer from some of the viewers and that. So let's get into it. Liverpool have won the league, and John, how are you feeling, man?
If I was to be honest with you, and I think I've mentioned a few times in the group, like even all now, even after the loss to Man City and the Palace win and the win today, part of it still doesn't feel real to me. Like it's still actually sinking in. And don't get me wrong, I've been feeding corn to everyone since the thing happened, but it still doesn't feel real. Like it hasn't really sunk in yet. And I don't think it probably will feel real until we see Hendo lift that cup. You know, I have to see the Hendo shuffle, lift the cup, and I think then it will feel like real, like we've actually done it. Because obviously with everything that's been happening this year, and like with everything that's been going on in the league, like, I just think like it just for me hasn't really kind of sunk in yet. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it now. I think if we are allowed to have a parade or whatever they might do, then I think again that will make it kind of sink in again. But I think for now it still doesn't kind of feel. I have to pinch myself like, yo, like we actually like won the league, innit? So yeah, man, I'm just happy, man. So yeah. Man.
And what were your thoughts after the 4-0 loss to City, like as a champions now, and how did you feel? Was it just like it doesn't really matter, we've won the league? How was you feeling after that?
No one likes losing. Like, I keep it a buck. Like, nobody likes losing, and no one likes losing 4-0. Like, come on, man. It's just. And I think for me, it was more about it was a very iffy performance from us. We had chances, but at the same time, we just didn't play like well enough. And I felt like City wanted it more, and I felt they wanted to make a statement personally. I think that Pep got them all riled up. Was like, these men are coming to your yard. You guys give them like a guard of honor, all these other things, and it started them up, you know. And it worked, and the better team won on the day. So personally, I don't feel too bad about it because our objective has been completed. But no one likes losing games at the end of the day. So yeah.
I hear that. What's you
I'll
lot's
just make a point.
Yeah, man,
I'll just make
jump
a point
in.
on that, T. Yeah, John, because I asked you a thing. Now, what I looked at it is, I get that you'd already won the league, but that showed me what a full strength City could look like with Laporte back. Because no one, who's done that to Liverpool? I ain't seen no one do that to Liverpool.
No one. But City could do that to anyone, though. Let's be honest. City could do that to anyone, and they've been doing it.
That's it. I wouldn't get carried away because look at City today. They lost. It's just like this Premier League. But I do think, like JB was saying, City were motivated. They wanted to say like, "No, we're the best team," and they really came at it. And obviously, I think Liverpool admittedly took their foot off the gas a little bit. They've already won the league. You know, let's be real, and it happens. And they just got showed up on the day. But it's a tricky one, man, because over the last 2 seasons, it is very tight on who's the best team. Obviously, Liverpool lost the league by 1 point last year. This year, they're 20 points, 23 points clear. So over the 2-year period, Liverpool is still cumulatively the better team. But City obviously have got a point to prove now, haven't they?
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah, I think I said after the City win that I thought it's more important for City to win that game than Liverpool, for obvious reasons. And 100%. City have a lot more to play for with the Champions League, still in the FA Cup. So them going and making that statement and beating you could sort of give them the momentum to go and do well throughout for the rest of the season. What I didn't see happening was them losing to Southampton today.
Crazy.
And that just shows that, you know what I'm saying, what sort of momentum are they really going to be able to build? You know, was that a false win against Liverpool? Because Liverpool have now won the league, and at the end of the day, you're not going to go... It's no matter what anybody says, innit? Like, psychologically, you're not going to be in the same frame of mind now that the objective has been completed.
No way. I know they're saying their objective now is 100 points. I think if they win all their games, they can get to 101, which is one more than obviously City did last year, calling the Centurion. So, you know, today you got a nice win in the end. It was a tough game. But to be fair...
it's hard to watch. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that
was hard. I'll be honest with you. It wasn't a good game. And, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's all good winning games. But to me, I take a lot of... I'll take a lot of kudos from how we play, like, on the day, and it tells me that these guys are on it. Like, and again, they wasn't like we didn't. Our first shot on target was 32. That's a concern. You know, how can you know you're Premier League champions, all right? You've done your objective, but you've got Aston Villa side who, granted, didn't come to play football. They came to put 10 men behind the ball and do what they do. So it's up to us to break them down.
The thing is today, like, Robertson was a bit off. He's been off the last 2 games, and that made a big difference. And until Firmino came on, then you guys started to tip. But before that, it didn't look fluid in the final third. So
Who started as your front three, John? Because I didn't see the game today.
The front three started off with Divock Origi up top, Mane on the left, Salah on the right.
Okay.
Divock was iffy. You know, he has these games where, like, you know, he's like a 1 in 4. So not that he will score, but he'll have a good game. And I get it. He hasn't started that many games this season. You know, he comes off the bench a lot of the time, so we can't expect him to do a lot. But at the same time, when he does start, it's games like this which kind of make you think that that you're not, you know, that fall from Firmino to
Divock.
It's there to see. It's so stark.
I saw that when you lot played Newcastle. When you lot played Newcastle, you went a goal down. I think it's that left back. Can't remember what his name is.
Robertson.
For
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. He scored a wicked goal. Anyway, you went a goal down.
Jethro, or whatever his name is.
No,
Danny Rose.
Not Danny Rose. It was a black guy. I can't remember what his name is.
He's got a bald head, innit?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
And
I
he
know
hit
you're
top
talking
bins.
about.
Top
Yeah, I know
bins.
you're
Top
talking
bins.
about.
Oh,
Cut in
yeah.
and hit top bins with his right foot. And
He's been injured.
but
He's been
then
out.
later on, like you brought Firmino on, and then
Yeah, it just
all
it's just
started
what, yeah.
clicking from there. So yeah, the quality levels between Origi and
Yeah.
Firmino is clear to see. But
Yeah,
what
man.
gone, Wesley, you want to say something?
Yeah, but you know what it is. I became a fan of him last season.
Who?
Origi or Firmino?
Origi.
Oh, okay, Origi.
Firmino,
Okay.
I rate him highly, but Origi,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what he done? He got them important ones, and it's like no matter how much he was on the bench or he had to sit
Yeah.
back because he
True.
weren't as good, he was in that position against Barca to get that goal.
Yeah.
Other
That's a
man
fact.
might not have been. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. It's a fact, and it's not that I don't rate him. I trust me. Like, I think he's an amazing player, and he's done well for his career so far. Because remember, he's still young. He's like 25, 26. So he's not even hit his peak yet. But I don't think personally, there's enough there that he can offer, especially in the way that Klopp wants to play football, will allow him to be a better version of himself. So
I think this is it for him.
Yeah.
This is it for him. Yeah.
Well,
I can stay on the bench here because look, we're winning things. So
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the flyweight, he has actually won it for them, but he's still part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the hunger to go, I need to start.
But
No,
I don't think so.
we're gonna see, isn't it? Because if he still stays there and just sits on bench and comes in on Carabao Cup games and the odd FA Cup game and then that just shows what his determination to try and be a better footballer is. Because at 25, you can't just be sitting. You need to be playing regularly football.
You should be starting.
Need to be playing regular football, man.
But then he's saying that I'll play devil's advocate here. If you're 25 and you're playing in one of the best teams in the world, and you're getting every other game, wouldn't you?
He's not getting every other game.
He's not even getting
every other game.
And
but that's still better than maybe going to I don't know. No disrespect to like Wolverhampton's or Sheffield United. It's still better than going there and playing every game, in my opinion.
I'm with you, Pat. Do
you know what I mean? You're playing with the cream of the crop. You're playing for one of the best managers in the world. You're winning the biggest trophies.
Yeah.
You're not playing though. You're not playing though.
Yeah.
But he's training.
You're not playing.
It's not enough. Like,
he's not playing.
If you're 25 and you just want to sit on the bench at a championship winning team, I have to look at you and think like, what do you really want from life? Because that to me tells me that you're a bit of a coaster.
Yeah,
he's happy to be where he's at. And then
not being funny, but that's his level though, isn't it? Like, is he really gonna? I don't know. Like, yeah, he could go and start somewhere else, but
this is it. And let someone else come in with a bit more quality that could offer more.
We're making assumptions.
That's at that other team. He ain't gonna probably win what he's winning now. And at the end of the day,
but he's already won everything now. Do you know what I'm saying? So now he can look back at his career and be like, boom. My time at Liverpool, I was integral. When I say integral, I got important goals in Champions League. I helped, we won the league. I've won the World Club, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm 25 years old. I need to be playing football. That's me as a person. I want to try and be the best that I can be. Do you know what I'm saying? And playing football, you need to be playing week in, week out, not riding bench.
Old school mentality. You got old school mentality, brother.
No, that's a winner's mentality, rude boy.
No,
winner's mentality.
No, but we spoke about this before. Enough of these youths, it's a job for them.
Yeah.
It's not the passion of kicking ball.
Yeah,
it's a job for them.
Well, that's wrong.
And that's what hurts me.
That's wrong.
I feel like a lot of man, it's a job for them.
Yeah, for me,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't believe that either. I don't believe it. Me neither.
What job do you know is going to pay you 80 grand a week?
I believe it, man. I believe what Wesley's saying. It's a job. Exactly. Some of these guys don't love football, but just because they're so good, they just do it. I can see Danny Rose don't love the game. You can clearly see he don't love the game.
No, he's fallen out of love with the game. I think there's a difference.
But you can see it.
That's it. It's just a job. It's a job that they do. He's very good at it. They get paid well. It's, you know what I mean? They're going through the motions. But JB, going back to Origi, how long has he got left on his contract?
I believe he's got another 2 years.
Okay, so yeah,
he's got another 2 years. And to be fair, like, me as a little bit of a businessman, if I was a smart businessman, I would try and offload him now because you get maximum value in this window, not in the next. Because because he's Origi and you kind of know his level, like how much can you really say? Oh, can we draw in terms of like his value? Like if it's a year left to go, people will be like, well, he's just Origi. Let's wait to end his contract.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna sell him, we have to sell him this summer.
Yeah.
So like, You know, if we're going to try and make any money off him, yeah, and these are offers from other clubs, and he's refused to go, and that's kudos to him. But he cannot be happy. I don't honestly. If that was me in his shoes, I would not be happy just playing second part role in a team, especially when you're so young. It's going to affect his bag later on.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, man. Man is 25. We're talking about you coming to the peak of your career. When you're in the peak of your career, you should be playing football, not sitting on the bench, man. And the thing is it's different as well if you're in a team that gets rotated, like what you're saying, every other game. We don't see Origi every other game. Do you know what I'm saying?
We don't.
John, where do you think Liverpool go now in terms of next season? Do you think, because just for all of the watchers and listeners, I put a little quick video on my Instagram, not in the week, just rolling back to the throwback thing where John said we can win the league. We can win the league. He was confident, people. Before the season, he was confident. A lot of people that sat on the fence. John came up here and he said we can win the league. So fair play to you.
Said it with his chest.
Said it with his chest. And I challenged him. I laughed. I said, it ain't happening. But you get me? Man is here now, and he's the one who was right. I was wrong. Fair play to him. So, John,
man.
You can be able to call it again. What do you think happens to Liverpool next season? And what do you think you need to do to maintain and be back-to-back champions?
As you just mentioned there, the goal has to be to win the league. Again, we don't, I think anyone who's anyone, even if you're, as fans have tried to do, but obviously they've tried to kind of come with the COVID league and the asterisk league and null and void league and all of these things, right?
However, hands up.
however, and I think in order to kind of, shut the haters down, go and do it back to back, prove everyone wrong. And I think as well that we've kind of proven that already by the fact that we got 97 points last season. We're hopefully going to get 100 points this season. It's just whether we can carry on that for a third season. And as we've seen in the past, it is very difficult to be at the top of your game for any club for 3 years in a row. Very, very. So
see, on that point,
wait. And to answer your second part of your question, Tim, the only way that we can do that is obviously by investing in the club. Now, I think one of the kind of FSG kind of objectives is that we don't buy big and put someone in the team and try. We buy young and try to build them up. That's going to be a point of contention if it's going to come to trying us doing it back to back. Because I don't know how Klopp can draw that level of performance 3 years in a row. I just haven't seen it done. So if we don't invest, it could be that we could, push again, but we might not win it if we don't invest, especially because there are areas that we are lacking in. And I think today's game, the Man City game, showed that sometimes you need to have maybe something different or like a different approach or a different type of player, because people are going to work you out. After 2 years of playing the same type of football, the coaches are going to work out how you play, what to do to stop you. So naturally, Klopp has to change the team, has to come a little bit different, I would assume, in order to, achieve our objectives. So, yeah, man.
Wesley, I'm going to come over to you in a second because I know you wanted to say something. Hold that thought, yeah? I just wanted to ask, I was on a podcast the other day, and one of the guys on there said that you guys are linked with Thiago, what's his name?
Thiago. Not Thiago Silva.
Thiago. Yeah, because that's what I was like. Thiago.
Yeah, however, he's leaving on a free this season, though.
So,
Thiago Silva. I think
Thiago Silva.
PSG.
Yeah, PSG defender.
Yeah. But I'm talking about Thiago, the midfielder.
Sorry.
How would you feel about getting somebody like that in? Because what I said to that was that would then, for me, change. You're gonna have to change your whole system to accommodate a player like that. What's your thoughts?
I'll be silly to sit here and say I would not want a player like Thiago in my team. The guy is an amazing player. He's clearly a very talented baller. He come through the Barcelona youth system, I believe. Then he got to the first team and then got his move to Munich. However, he's 29 years old. He would come in for really big money. And what we've seen, what that can do sometimes is it can kind of shake the boat at times in terms of a team. When you bring in a star name like that, and you've got a team that have achieved all of these things, it can kind of maybe shake the dressing room a little bit, as good as it would be to have a guy like that in the team. So for me, I would be personally, it's a weird one. I'm more 50-50 on it. If we could get him in, great, but it would really go against, FSG's kind of objectives in terms of how they grow and mold the team. So I don't really see how they would, maneuver around that to make that, I just don't really get it, So,
I hear you, man.
I see Bayern Munich saying today that they're going to try everything they can to keep him. They don't want him to go.
Okay.
So he's saying he wants a new challenge and he's not that happy, but they're saying they don't want him to go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one.
He's done it all there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He don't need to stay there anymore. He's 29 years old. I think he wants his last big payday. It don't make sense staying in Bayern Munich for him, So that's what I think anyway.
Wesley, over to you, my man. Sorry to have cut you early doors, G.
No problem, brother. So JB, I was just gonna say, from the start of the season, I'll put my hand up. I'm an Arsenal fan. I put a tenner on Liverpool going the season unbeaten. That's how much faith I had in you lot.
Wow.
I lost it, but I'm not. We're still the only invincibles. but anyway, yeah. The level of football you lot are playing, like I've seen City play football, but you see what you lot was doing was sick. That the intensity was like 101, 110% every game. Now, I believe that break was great for you lot. Because I want to see if Liverpool, if you don't strengthen, I want to know how you lot can do that for a whole season. Because you lot were devastating. Like, man, you lot were just coming in and man was just blocking like that. just blocking.
Like UFC.
Trying to get one counter, just blocking.
Yeah.
You lot were just pounding. Like, you lot had the stamina, you was going. Like, I just want to know, do you reckon you lot can hold that for a whole season consistently? It's
impossible. I do not believe any human being can perform at a high level for a period of 2 to 3 years. That's just it's just and another point about Thiago, I think him also coming in would be detrimental to some of the young players that are coming through at Liverpool as well. If you bring him in, what is Curtis Jones going to do? Yeah. Like, I understand there are players even from Liverpool, but again, it's like they have this kind of push for youth and trying to build them up. If you bring a player like that, and it kind of goes against your mantra.
Yeah, I hear that. All right then, man. So leave us your comments, people. Do you think that Liverpool can win the league again, do the back-to-back? It'll be interesting whether they are going to sign and make any reinforcements in the summer. I say in the summer, when the season done, because we're in the summer now. But you know what I mean. So yeah, let us know in the comments. We'll move on to the next topic of today's discussion, which is bang. Jose versus Arteta.
Can I just say, are we just saying Jose versus Arteta because of the teams they manage? Because otherwise, it's so disrespectful to put those two in the same bracket.
Oh,
okay. You can't even put the
sorry. What I'll say is Jose and
Arteta to Mourinho right now.
Jose and Spurs versus Arteta and Arsenal, because Pat's been on here calling Arteta the water boy and all of that, and I was here laughing with him and everything like that. You know what I mean? Getting at Arsenal, but let me just read a couple of things. Let me read some stuff out to you. Yeah.
Yeah, read it out, son. Let's hear it.
Arteta, yeah. Since he took over, this is the water boy, yeah. And the coin thrower,
aka the cone picker.
Okay, so he's got 20 games, 11 wins, 5 draws, and 4 losses. And then we move over to Jose, the special one, yeah.
The humble one.
The humble one.
Yeah.
Is 29 games, 12 wins, 7 draws, and 10 losses. Now, we can see how things can change so quickly in football, boy. Within 2 games now,
trust me,
Arsenal are the ones that are looking like they may finish the season strongly, and Spurs are looking like they're the ones in trouble. What you got to say, Wesley, and then we'll head over to Pat for him to give his take on this.
I need to hear this. I need to hear this. I need to hear this.
I just want to know, in your heart, Pat, are you surprised?
Of what?
Of how Mourinho's, the management, how he's been behaving. Because when he first got there, a few Arsenal men were jealous. I was like, nah, he can't work at Arsenal because I see what he done at United. Now, in terms of man motivating, see, Jose, he could either put you up there, make you feel like that, or he puts people down. Like, I don't want to swear on here, but you get what I'm saying? The way he digs man out, that's some old school kind of management, fam. He was doing that at Man United. Look what he done with Pogba, and now look at Pogba without Mourinho when Pogba's fit.
Martial, Rashford, Luke Shaw.
Rashford, yeah. Mourinho, mate. Mourinho is he's actually murdering you. Like, I can't even laugh because it's just like ridiculous what's going on. The game against Sheffield United, that wasn't Spurs.
That wasn't Mourinho's. That wasn't Mourinho's fault though. Like that's because obviously with you know what the world of football is like. It's so reactionary and one loss, one win, everything changes. That wasn't Mourinho's fault. Mourinho put out a very strong attacking team. That team should have wiped the floor with Sheffield United. They play, and then even Mourinho made the right changes at the right time. Ndombele came on with 25 minutes to go. So did Dele Ali. Should have still won that game. So that wasn't Mourinho's fault. He put out an attacking team, put out our best defensive unit, and obviously they just crumbled. I think after the decision went the wrong way, they just folded, and that's the mentality thing that we've been obviously showing for a long time now. That wasn't. I can't blame Mourinho for that one. That was the players right there.
So when is it Mourinho's fault? That's what I want to know.
It's Mourinho's fault if he's not, obviously, if he's like, for example, when people are saying, him calling out Ndombele, I personally didn't think that was bad. I didn't think that was, that bad. Other people saying you can't manage a player like that, especially today's game, blah, blah, blah. So that one, cool, you can call that. But I don't think, obviously, if he puts out, like, for example, when we played you guys, we were Man United, for the people listening. When we played Semper's team, we were very defensive in that game. We did sit back. We let Man United come on and we hit them on the counter. If we would have lost that game, Mourinho would be to blame, especially playing at home. Obviously, we got a draw, so it's a decent result considering the team we're playing. But if the manager sets up properly, puts out the best team for that game, then it's the player's fault. And if he doesn't make the right changes, because that was one of my biggest gripes with Pochettino. Pochettino never made the right changes at the right time. Sometimes Poch would just let the game run out and then he would change things so slowly, or he wouldn't react to the game. Mourinho reacted to the Sheffield United game. We just didn't click, and obviously we ended up losing. Defensively, we were shambles. That's some of the worst kind of goals I've seen conceded in a long time. It was literally identical balls into the box, and then the players just walked onto it.
It was crazy.
Crazy. It's just they just folded. They just collapsed. There was no heart, no leadership. No one wanted to. It was a shambles. It was embarrassing, to be honest.
But what I would then argue, or not even argue, what I would then ask you is, because when Arsenal was doing badly prior to 2 games ago, you know, we've got the water boy remarks and the jokes and everything like that. And what you're saying is that Arteta is not cutting it. What I find really weird is that when we see what happens over at Spurs, Jose has lost 10 games and he's won 12. Why does he just get a free pass and it's just excuses for him time again?
He doesn't get a free pass. He's been criticised, ridiculed. I've seen all the things. He's lost it. He's a dinosaur.
No, we're talking. Forget in the media. I'm talking about you.
With me. Because I'm realistic. I know we've had so many players injured for a long time as well. When Jose came in, the amount of key players we've had out, that is going to affect us. Also, obviously, he's just walked in. He's got to set his team up. I'm realistic. I don't expect him to perform miracles. So until next year, I'll be really critical of him if this continues. But right now, with everything that's going on, I've got to be realistic and give him time.
Furthermore, I'd just like to add, just in relation to this argument, or this point, sorry, that it's so good to kind of look at things from a game-to-game basis, but you do kind of have to sit down and take a step back at times, because I think, especially for Arsenal fans, and this is no shot to Arsenal fans, but they get very excited very quickly. And I think they're on this Arteta bandwagon, and I'm sure he might turn out to be a great manager, but he's still pretty much an unknown when it comes to this. Furthermore, Arsenal have some very tough games coming up. Like, and if I go by what I know Arsenal's doing, I'm just going by my own personal experience with what Arsenal have done in the past, is that they get on this kind of run of everything's going well, everything's and then it all comes crashing down. And it's just like, I kind of feel as if like the games that are coming up will be a true test to see really Arsenal really move forward, because Jose could still finish with Arsenal, with Spurs. It could very easily happen, because I've seen their running, I've seen your running, and the run-ins, if you put them on paper, I mean, a betting man would say Spurs will finish with Arsenal.
All right, I'm going to have to jump in.
Wes. Jump in.
I've been quiet. So let me tell you something. So as an Arsenal fan a proper fan for the last 20 odd years, in the last decade or so, I know you seem like you're a football man, you know, Arsenal start a season good, get to Christmas, crumble by February, we're a shake. February, March, we're back on it again. Yeah? Now, I'll tell you, against Wolves, I was nervous before, but this is the kind of performance that I didn't think we had in us this year. So I think that man could be motivated. Like now, because we're not title challenging, Champions League challenging team, the North London derby next week, that's a mad game. Leicester, that's a big game. Liverpool, that's another big game. They're actually big games for us. Like Liverpool, that game, you won the league. Beat Arsenal, lose to Arsenal, who cares? But it matters to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next Sunday is so important. It's so important.
It's a massive free. Whoever wins that game,
it's
I
huge.
think it will
huge.
Determine the rest of their season.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
That's
I mean, obviously, we've got to make sure we beat Everton tomorrow. Otherwise,
we've got Everton tomorrow.
So that's
away, Pat.
you know, we're away. So that's are we away? I think we're away. Yeah.
I think you are away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're away. So that's it's a tricky one, because you know Everton they're a strange team, man. Sometimes they can look good, other times they can flatter to deceive. But obviously, they'll be going in there, licking their lips now, looking at us. So we just need to go and just do a job on them. So, but
you see, I have a problem with just the double standards. That's what my issue is. And everybody knows I'm a fan of Pochettino. And what I've seen on Twitter, Pat, you've been party to it, Joe Swash, other Tottenham fans, what they're saying is the players. Nobody is pointing the finger at Jose. Sheffield, you say that Sheffield United, he played an attacking team, but you didn't play well, Pat. You can't then say, oh, Jose played an attacking team, so that means he got it right. No, it's all about the tactics. You didn't play well. Sheffield were well worth their win in that game. And I'm just trying to say, if it's the players that aren't good enough, because that's what I'm seeing a lot of the time now on Twitter, the players aren't good enough. These are the same players, more or less, that Poch had to work with some additions now. So why were the players good enough when Poch was there? Because Poch got put on the chopping board and you're out. But then now, when Jose's here, the players aren't good enough. And it's okay, Jose, you need to get new players in.
That's the thing. That's you say about double standards, but even that kind of thing is a double standard, because Pochettino called for a squad overhaul and a refresh a long time ago, and he didn't get it.
Yeah,
we was on a massive decline. Let's not forget 2018. We was sliding all the way down 2019, we were sliding down the table. We were struggling. Champions League run looked fantastic and looked great. But in terms of our league form, we were awful. And we were still letting in a lot of goals. We weren't playing well. So these players, they haven't been good enough for a while. It's nothing to do with the manager. They haven't been. Poch was screaming for a refresh. We didn't get it. Obviously, we went 2 transfer windows with no players in. It looked great at the time, but it was a really bad move. And our squad has become really stagnant and really stale. And that is one of the main issues.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with I think you know me, Pat. I've said this for a long time, that what I'm saying is that if this is the issue, then didn't Poch earn the right to be given a year? Like it was one season that he then flopped after getting you lot, because what was it? At one point when you lot, 72 games played, and there's like it's like basically a table when I think it was when Leicester won the league. At that point, where you lot had really done really well, and he had like a net spend of like 7 million, and there's like a table of Tottenham in the top 6, and Tottenham are there. And at that point in time is when Spurs should be kicking on and investing and pushing forward. He didn't get it. He gets to this season. Yeah. And everybody knows that the players aren't good enough, even though we've got a friend that said they had the second best squad in the league. So we'll keep it moving. The players aren't good enough. Poch starts to struggle, but then it's Poch's fault. And it doesn't make sense.
It was a big... The thing is, with Pochettino as well, you know me, I love Poch to death, but I even called that he had to go because Poch made fundamental mistakes as a young rookie kind of manager in the situation where he even talked about leaving if we won the Champions League.
Yeah,
that was criminal. Yeah, that was criminal. Continuing to play Eriksen when Eriksen down tools, didn't want to be there. That again, that's something that you shouldn't do. Even Ralph Hasenhüttl at Southampton, as soon as Højbjerg come out and said, "I'm thinking of leaving," see you later, get out the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be ruthless sometimes, and Poch didn't really have that. And so, as much as Pochettino, you're saying he should have been given time. Yes, he should have in a sense, but then he was also making fundamental errors, and so I had to give, man. Something had to give.
And Pat, like, how much time? I mean, he was there for 5 years now.
I know, yeah, exactly.
How much more time were you willing to give him? I understand he built the team up to a point.
Yeah.
But hasn't there been instances?
No investment. With no investment.
But hold on. But hasn't there been instances where a manager's built a team up to a certain point and it's like they can't go any further? So you need a refresh sometimes of the manager. I think it happened at Everton, right? It happened at Everton.
Yeah,
like, there is no. He was there for like 10 years and didn't win nothing. All right, he got on Champions League football, I think, once or whatever. But it gets to a point. As good as a manager was for Everton, they felt as if, like, okay, well, we've been hitting the door of Champions League and all these other things, but it's time for a change now. We need to make that next step, and I think that's what Spurs have done.
It's mad with Potter with the thing, because people say no investment. Of course, we haven't gone crazy with money, but Poch was back. Like, in our time, we signed a lot of players, but we just wasted money. Janssen, Nakudu, Kevin Wimmer.
How much are these players, Pat? How much are these players? Is that really being backed?
Janssen was 20 plus million. That's a decent amount of money, especially back then. Wimmer was 15 plus. Nakudu was.
You've got to 15. Take into it.
Do you know what I mean? And
these ain't quality signings, gents. Come on.
No,
these ain't quality signings. These ain't quality signings that's gonna take you to the next level. Let's be honest. Come on, let's keep things real now. Let's not make.
Can Spurs attract that sort of quality level player?
Exactly.
Honestly,
at that time we couldn't. Obviously, this year then we brought in Ndombele, who was a big signing at the time, and he was one of the top players in Europe in regards to where he was for his age and position. That hasn't really worked. But so we obviously, as the profile of the club changed, then we was able to attract a bigger player. But when Poch first come, no, we couldn't compete with all the big boys such as yourselves. No.
Yeah, but we're not talking about when Poch first arrived. We're talking about seasons on. Go on, Wesley.
No, I was going to say, how long's Klopp been there? He's been there 5 years now, isn't it?
Yeah. 4 years or 5, John?
What if he didn't win the league this year?
That's what he said.
He said, I'm saying, if he didn't win it, would you have said he needs to go?
Hell no. Because as a Liverpool fan, because as a Liverpool fan, we had realised as a club we weren't where we were now. We were like where Arsenal are now. Does that make sense? So in our minds, it was
definitely where Arsenal are now.
But probably if they didn't win the Champions League and they didn't win the league, it'd be a different conversation. But even if they didn't win the league this year, they won the Champions League, so they were still a successful club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they invested though.
I think.
Look, how much was Alisson?
75. No, 70.
Okay, and Virgil was 75.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so come on now. This is what you're talking about when you're talking about investing in your squad to take it to the next level.
Spurs are two different clubs, though.
Exactly, and that's it. We didn't, and this is why. I mean, you know me. Everyone in here knows me. I've been Levy out for years. Now you're seeing it. Everyone's starting to get on the Levy out bandwagon because they're seeing that. No matter what happens, no matter how big the club is, no matter what our stadium is, we still ain't buying the players. But I was seeing this from years ago. I called it and I saw it. So Levy, as our head honcho, we ain't never going to be able to do what Liverpool or Man United or all these other guys are doing. So it's just going to get.
Pat, you're not the same Tottenham. Remember me and you even have this discussion. The
Yeah.
same Tottenham that you supported at school ain't the same level of Tottenham
This is
now.
it.
You understand? Tottenham are
Exactly, but
you're one of the big boys now.
yeah,
And that's
correct. But
important.
Levy's not moving like a big boy when it comes to transfers and it comes to getting the players. And he's
Go
not.
Wesley,
He's still
Greenwood.
moving like it's the truth, though, isn't it? He's still acting like it's the Tottenham from 6-7 years ago. You got to change your model to adapt to the
Yeah.
times and adapt to the stature of the club. Otherwise, we're just standing still. Everyone's moving. We're just stuck in the mud.
Well, we're moonwalking at the moment, so those are the two guys.
But what are you saying though, Wesley? Like, do you see some? You know, you said there that you didn't see that performance coming against Wolves. I actually called it. I posted. I was on that podcast,
Yeah, I called it as well.
I saw it. I thought Arsenal would beat Wolves.
Yeah, I said
How are
that
you
as well.
feeling then about the end of the season and going into next season with Mikel Arteta?
Do you know what? Yeah, as long as he is real about what he's saying, I feel very confident. Sorry, I looked around like I wasn't confident there, but no, I am. No, but I am.
What do you mean real with what he's saying? What do you mean? Sorry, break that
So
down.
when he's saying that, listen, you see the attitude and stuff. I can't have it.
Yeah.
If you man, if you ain't with the program, I gotta drop you out.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
like
You know what?
Ozil, for example.
Yeah.
Like Ozil, yeah.
Listen, I could have, because obviously the league is so far away from me right now. I can't even think about winning the league. I can deal with finishing 6th or 7th. Yeah. If I know Arteta's got everyone there, and that's on the same page, they're fighting for the same thing, because you can improve on that.
Yeah.
100%.
But
Yeah.
like the David Luiz and stuff. Like, I know it must bun him that he's got to rely on that you. It must bun him.
But they gave him a new contract though. Why?
No, I think it is. I think it's extended to the end of this actual season. It's not.
No. He's got a new contract.
He's got a new
signed
contract.
New 1-year contract. Where you been, man? What are you talking about?
No, I've been lying to myself. I said he's extended it 2 months. Not a whole 12 months.
He's got a whole
new contract, man.
He's got a whole new contract.
Like, it's crazy. But imagine that he's trying to build something there, and he's got to still work with that. You know what I'm saying? But once that's cut out, you know what I'm saying? But I you know what? I want to see him next year.
Yeah.
But Arsenal fans have to be realistic.
They have to be. Please,
Stop
they
getting
have to be.
vexed. Like, do you know what? I like I said, forgetting like all top 4, and I'm not worried about. I just want to know. You see, like when Arteta first came, you see it's gonna sound weird, but for the first 5 games, for the first half of the first 5 games, I love football again. I saw Arsenal playing how I used to see Arsenal play football.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna keep it up. They were tired, blood. You get what I'm saying? But if he get man playing like that, I don't mind. If we can lose a game, I know everyone tried.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I
just think Arsenal fans have to. I just think as Arsenal fans, you have to be really, really patient, especially when it's with Arteta. He's an unknown in football in terms of at this level, like, and he's taking on one of the. And then not only that, don't Arsenal have like one of the youngest squads in the league? Like something crazy.
Yeah,
it looks like it. They've got a lot of young players.
They've got like one of the youngest squads. Like, it's like, you know, when you have a young team, naturally they're going to be inconsistent, right? As a team, and they grow into being this.
Boy, Alex Ferguson might have something to say about that, you know.
That was one time,
and Man United have had that. Man United have had that.
That was one time.
What's one time?
You don't win
in 92.
Kids that one time.
Winning the league with kids, that statement.
Yeah, you remember that one time?
Yeah, but they didn't go from kids.
He definitely remembers that.
They didn't go from kids to non-kids in one season. They still were kids the next season and the season after that. Man said one time, you know, like they were kids and then they became adults.
No. I mean one team that
one
done
season.
One team that done it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Instead of
like one team of youngsters.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not like he brought like a next batch of youngsters and there was like a class of 97 or a class of 2000. It was only class of 92. One time.
According to them, they got a class of 2019, 2020, but
according to them, you know, you see that dig. You see the shots.
You got the class of 2019, 2020. Apparently.
What, we don't got good players, Wesley?
No, but you got the best academy, apparently.
Huh?
One of
Greenwood.
I'm not saying we got the best academy. If I'm honest, I don't know too much about the academy. All I know is that we got some ballers in the academy, though. I definitely know that. I know it. And you know what? That's a good segue in, because we were going to chat about Mason Greenwood. So,
come on.
Boy, you know what I'm saying?
He's looking good, man.
You know what? It's probably better if I hear you guys' opinions on Mason Greenwood, because everybody knows what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, well, the Man United game was a good game for him because not a good game. I mean, he's been playing good, but that was a great game for him to show his qualities because it was a tight game up until he really took control of it. That first goal, like, the way he just struck that, no back lift, boom, rifled. The keeper got a hand on it and just he couldn't even keep it out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah. You can see it. Try and stop it. Go on, try and stop it.
But there's no way.
What I like about Greenwood is that the fact that he's 18 and you can see the player that he's going to be. Like you can see exactly what he's going to be like when he's 25, 30, whatever. You can see it there. The guy, left foot, right foot, left. So, no matter where he's playing, he's balling out. Like it's mad. Like I just don't know where you feel.
Rashford like that.
No,
he's cleaner than Rashford. He's more complete than Rashford.
When Rashford burst onto the scene, Rashford
had those 2 goals against Arsenal.
That was good. Then he went into
Rashford
Europe.
Wasn't controlling games like this. He wasn't.
Exactly.
He didn't look like Greenwood looks intelligent. The way he's moving around, and the way he just looks accomplished.
He don't give the ball. He don't give the ball away. He holds on to the ball. His distribution is A1 as well. It's not even just about his goals. His distribution. Earlier on in the season, we scored some sick goal, and it started from his play where he switched it out wide from one side to the other. His football IQ as well for 18.
Definitely
is mad because that counter attack goal, that was his cross to Bruno Fernandes. You know, like like everybody's talking about the goal and the volley and everything. Do you know how much Tekers is needed to put the ball on the plate for Man? And he was running at pace as well. It wasn't like the ball was stationary and everyone, to do them dead balls is easier. I'm a footballer, I know. You get me?
You know what? I'd say one of the biggest compliments I can give him is that he's making the other guys look better. And I think that shows how good he is in a sense. I know Fernandes is also there, but he's actually come into the attack. And now it looks like you've got a trio of...
They're buzzing now.
And I think Greenwood's been that missing link. So, Martial's looking good. He's playing with a smile on his face. And he's it's like, I don't know.
Don't say that, Pat. Don't say this playing with a smile on his face. Don't be one of them.
Martial's usually come on. As I see it.
Come on, Lee. Come on.
He is a soaker.
No.
He's little Henry.
Baby Henry. I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that. Don't disrespect Henry, bro. Do not do that, bro.
I don't know. Listen.
A lot of Arsenal fans have said that. It's the way he scores his goals and stuff is Henry-esque.
Open up his body.
Yeah, it's Henry-esque.
What he does.
I'm not having it. We can have a whole episode of Martial, and I'm ready for that. That one I'm ready for. But
yeah.
Man's ready for Martial now. Yeah. Man's ready for Martial. Man's ready.
Get me? You hear that?
You see, man's ready for Martial.
You see, and it's funny because I had a conversation with somebody today about when you've got a bias towards a player, and it doesn't matter what that player does, is you will not change. It's exactly like when we're talking about the BLM thing. Is when you think a certain way. Unless you are willing to change your perspective, you're stuck in your ways. And what he's just said right there epitomizes that. Because for man to come with so much energy for Martial,
no.
All Martial has done is perform this season. That's all he's done. And then man is gonna say, don't disrespect the next man I'm ready for Martial. Like
because with the Martial thing, I know this is not a Martial podcast, but I'm just gonna say this, Martial's been at Man United for a minute. Listen, I'm not taking that away from it. He cost peas. And no, I do not believe a Man United fan can sit here and tell me that Martial has been a success at Man United.
He's a striker.
Wait.
He got stuck on the wing.
I'm just saying. That's my thing.
Wesley, you say that. Go on, Wesley, you say that.
He's a striker. But whether he's a striker or not, has Martial performed to the level of expectation that you signed him for?
You know what?
When he's played up,
has Martial? Is it yes or no question?
Yes, he has.
Has Martial performed to the level?
Because when he was playing under LVG, he was cold. You don't. You see, Wesley, you don't like it. No. Let me finish. When he was playing under LVG, he was cold, and then he gets Jose, and then when you've got a manager like Jose that basically tries to force you out the club, just like what he did Pogba. And I've said this.
Wow.
When Sanchez got brought in, Martial was player of the month 2 months out of 3. Sanchez comes in and then straight away you're on the bench. and then you want to call a man a sulker. Yeah, he's gonna flipping sulk. I would sulk as well when I'm player of the month, and then you bring in the next man, and you even said it, bringing in another man on big P's can then unsettle the dressing room. Jose was not the right manager for somebody.
Jose
like
doesn't
Anthony.
like.
So it's Jose's fault for the reason why Martial isn't the player that he really should be today.
Well, we're seeing the player that Martial is now when he's finally been given the chance to play as a number 9 this season. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. He ain't played there before, John. Did he play there before?
No. That's
oh
fair. He's
no,
not played there.
He didn't play there before.
When he first
he was playing left
What
back.
I'm saying
He was
is,
playing left back. That's where he was under Jose.
Wing back.
He was playing
Wing
left back. Yeah,
back.
that's what
Wing back.
Jose's getting annoyed with him at West Ham. At West Ham for playing because he's not doing left back duties. That's what Jose was getting angry with him for.
Yeah.
That's what he had to deal with.
Martial and Henry should not be mentioned in the same sentence. I'm sorry, and I'm not having that. Furthermore, this is Greenwood, isn't it? Let's go to Greenwood. We can do Martial though. I'm ready for that one.
It's funny because but you see it though, because a man he's gonna judge him for not scoring goals, yet his main striker has no goals in 51. I haven't said that actually.
I haven't said that. I'm talking about goals. I haven't mentioned goals. I haven't mentioned goals.
What's that?
I haven't mentioned goals.
Talk about Firmino.
Firmino, 17 appeaperances at Anfield since March 2019. 51 shots, 51 shots, 0 goals. 0 goals. So let me just say something. Let me say something though.
No, it's Firmino against Martial. I don't get it. I don't understand.
This is where the bias comes in.
It went from Martial to Firmino.
This is where the bias comes in.
Where's their bias? We're just bringing up Greenwood. Where's the bias?
51 shots and no goals. If this was Martial, he's rubbish. He hasn't performed at the level. 51 shots, Wesley. 0 goals.
Why are we talking about Firmino, please?
Because you brought.
I didn't bring up Firmino, and I didn't bring up goals either.
I'm talking about the bias of football fans. It needs to stop, people.
What bias? I was just bringing up Greenwood. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. I was just bringing up Greenwood. I was just bringing up Greenwood.
He hates Martial, boy. He hates him.
Martial has failed to deliver. That's what I'm saying. And he's not reached his, fair enough, yeah, you can say, oh, he's still young and he came when he was 18. He has not reached his potential in a Man United shirt for the value of money that you paid for him. That's what I'm going to say.
Martial.
He's not Theo Walcott, bro. You're judging him like he's Theo Walcott. That's what you're talking about. You're going to say Martial.
I've never said he was a bad player. I've not once mentioned he was a bad player. Not once. I'm not saying anything about his goals.
So you say he failed to deliver to the level?
100%. What was it? 50
He hasn't been a striker. I don't understand.
Wait, hold on. No. But I'm not talking about goals though. I haven't mentioned goals. I'm talking for the player that they thought they were buying from Monaco, and back then, how much did he pay for himself?
As a striker,
how much did he pay for
himself?
How much? I'm talking about as a player, as a footballer. Has he delivered for Man United?
Yeah.
Has Martial?
For when he's played, he's delivered. For when he's played, he's delivered because you don't remember. You don't remember the months when he was player of the month. You don't remember these months.
How the mighty have fallen. This is what Man United fans are. Is this what Man United fans are expecting now?
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
going on? Man's talking about player of the month, you know, like that's a great achievement.
And then the next man comes in, You don't remember the games where he's consistently been playing well, and then he gets.
Man United fan, you don't remember player of the month and not player of the year. That's a little bit suspect to me. But anyway,
how can you be player of the year if you ain't playing? How can you be player of the month if you ain't playing?
He ain't playing.
How can you be player of the month if you are not playing? Under Jose, he was under Jose. Under Jose,
now. So we're now defining his time to Man United just under Jose.
Well, I said to you, under LVG, he was playing well. He was delivering. So then under Jose's time, he didn't. Yes, he did. He did under LVG.
What for Man United?
Yeah, for Man United. No one was knocking Martial in the LVG season.
Yeah, when he first came.
Martial was scoring in FA Cup semi-finals and getting us FA Cup
Sam,
wins.
come on, you could do better than FA Cup semi-finals. Sam, come on, man, come on. This
John,
is
Man United have not been challenging for the league. What are you talking about? So do you see the agenda? Do you see the agenda, Wesley? And Pat? So all of he hates
Man
him.
United.
He hates
This
him.
is Man United.
So all of a sudden now, so I can't say FA Cup. I can't say Player of the Month. I can't say. But so what am I going to say? Man United ain't winning the league. Man United ain't been winning the league.
Why did you buy Martial? Why did you buy Martial? Like, what did you think he would achieve with the, at Man United? For his time at Man United, what do you think he would have achieved?
When we bought Martial, we bought him as a striker to come in and score goals and help us win things. But then the same thing, the same reason we bought Pogba. So what is Pogba not? So Pogba's not a good player now.
I never said they weren't a good player. I haven't said that.
As Pogba delivered at Man United, as Pogba delivered at Man United.
I don't think so.
So now we've basically got a whole host of players. We've got a whole host of players that haven't delivered for Man United in what we can consider a very turbulent time. Yeah, would you agree? In terms of managers, the Jose, the LVG, and everything like that. Right? Yeah. Okay. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna judge them on the past, or we're gonna judge them on the present?
I'm gonna judge. No, I'm talking about Martial's career at Man United from day one.
Okay. We've already established, John, that you don't know enough of Martial's career at Man United because you don't remember a lot of the milestones. You don't. That's the fact. You're looking at it as an overview. You don't actually remember.
What? So I'm just gonna remember just the 1 year that he played well. But
you don't remember a lot of what he's dealt with.
Package.
You don't know. Okay, so
I'm talking about the overall package.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the past. I'm saying, why don't we talk about this season and what's going on now? Because the past is done now. Well now. The past is done now. We'll be focusing on the negatives of the past for. We've already said that
I'm talking about
everybody's had to deal with a lot of crap under Jose. We've all established that. Yeah, okay. We're in a present now. We're in a new manager. We got new players, and we're playing a different way. Has Martial delivered this season?
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt you, didn't it?
You can have your point of view, Sam. I'm gonna have my point of view. But let's just agree to disagree. You get me? Like, I do not think Martial has been a success at Man United, regardless of whether he's been played a striker on the left. I'm not talking about goals.
He's not been given a fair shot. And now this season,
how long has he been at Man United?
I said at the beginning of the season.
I'm not answering the question. How long has he been at Man United for?
What, 5 years? 4 years?
And you don't think in 5 years he's had a fair shot at being a
I've already explained to you, John, but this is the problem, is what I said. When you talk about football, is you've got a bias and then you won't change. And I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, when people talk about football, you don't listen to hear what the next person is saying. You listen to then react, because what I'm saying to you, and you can understand this as being a football fan for somebody who you don't dislike, because if you would understand the reasons as to what goes into making a footballer perform, it's not just about that individual, the environment, the team, the manager. This all plays a part, which I know you know this. So because you're an intelligent person and you understand football, so you would look at things objectively if it wasn't. And when I say the bias, is because this is what I mean. We've got a player now, Martial, who's playing in a totally different setup to what he's been playing in prior to since Jose Mourinho. He's now been given the number 9 shirt, his number 9 shirt, which was taken away from him. As I said, he was playing very well. Then we had the next man that came in and then he was benched. All of these type of things, how are you then going to deliver on the pitch when you're not given a chance? Now he's been given a chance and he's delivered this season. There's no one that can't tell me that Martial has not delivered this season, because when he was playing well. He got injured. Rashford went in as number 9 and flopped. For weeks and weeks, he did badly. People won't know that if you don't watch Man United. Martial came back, everything started to tick again. And Martial and Rashford both got 20 goals in all competitions this season. They've delivered.
20 goals in the league. I was like, whoa.
Say that again?
No, I thought you were going to say 20 goals in the league. I was like, that definitely didn't happen. But
no.
I hear what you're... Look,
but
I hear what...
Yeah, go on.
No. I hear what you're saying. like as I mentioned from the beginning, it's not. I'm taking into account the whole of Martial's career. Yeah, he can play. He can play. Like there's been many players who have had patches of like playing well and doing well at moments, but it's like, can you consistently perform on a level that's going to help push your team forward? And I don't feel as Martial has done that. He might be performing at this precise moment, but I think in the 5 years, I don't think there's been, say, enough of him just being the person that you bought him, that you thought you were. Like at 18 years old, when you're bought for how much was it? Just remind me, please. How much was it?
35, 45, 35,
45.
Back then, that was crazy money. And I know Man United can afford it, but what I'm saying is, for that level of money, for the player that you were buying, for what you expected him to achieve, I do not feel as if he has reached his potential in the Man United shirt.
How much was Naby Keita again? 60 mil?
50 odd. Yeah, 50 odd million.
But I'm saying, but was he been injured?
He hasn't really been played. He's not played that much. He's been injured, yes, but he's not played that much. Even when he's been fit, he's not played. So I think the jury's still out on him anyway, and this is going to be his 3rd season now. Next season will be his 3rd
and that's
season.
mad. So that's what I'm saying. But I would definitely.
But he's not delivered. He's not delivered at all.
But I was saying his first 3, if you look at Rashford, I mean, if you look at Martial's first 3 years, he definitely has made much more of an impact than
Keita.
But injuries that kind of dead the argument. I get what you mean, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like people.
No. I definitely hear what you're saying. I just think as I mentioned again, I'm going to say it again, for the amount of money that Man United paid for him, for what I believe they were expecting him to be at this point in time, I don't feel as if he's reached his potential in the Man United shirt.
Well, we're gonna have to move on from that now because
a
man's never gonna change his and this is the problem. A man is never gonna change his mind, and that's why we could have this conversation for a whole hour. Like he said, I'm ready for him. So when a man says, this is what I mean, when a man says we can have this, I'm ready for Martial. Straight away, you're not saying to yourself, let me hear the next man out. Right there, you're saying it doesn't matter what this man says. I'm ready for you. That's what you're saying, and this is what I mean by the bias.
Evra has said the same thing. He said the same thing. What you just mentioned, you mentioned the same thing on an interview about Martial in on Sky Spurs. I've heard that argument. I've heard that point of view. I've heard it. So it's not about me not hearing what you have to say. I've heard what you have to say. Do you know what I'm saying? It's my own opinion to a point where I feel as if Martial has not performed to the potential.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is that when you're not going to change your opinion. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to change.
I used to like. I thought Martial. He's got pure ability. He's got all the ability.
And it doesn't matter now whether Martial scores 30 goals. You're still going to have the same thing. You're going to say he hasn't fulfilled. He's not been a success for the 5 years. This is what I'm saying, because he's performed this season, but yet we're talking about his 5 years. But anyway, we're going to move on because we'll go over this over and over and over and over, boy. That just sort of overshadowed the Mason Greenwood.
Let me just interject. Let me just interject quickly. If what has Martial got to do for you to change your opinion? That's probably a better going forward. Yeah. What's he got to do for you to say, yeah, he's now become a success?
I think, like, and I'm taking up the fact of the club that he plays for. So to me, the club that he plays for, I'm assuming striving for the league, for cup.
We're not striving for the league yet. We're not at that level yet. We're not there yet. So let's again.
So in the 5 years that he's been at Man United, you haven't been trying.
We've not been nowhere near winning the league. We've not been nowhere near winning the league.
They didn't even said it. Yeah.
They finished second one, yeah, but
and that was a full second. That was a full second. We were rubbish. We were rubbish.
Yeah.
We were the fourth best team in the league that year.
But going back to it, what has he got to do for him to become a success in your eyes? Has he got to bang 30 a season, 20 plus in the Prem? I mean, what's he got to do for you to?
He has just got to show just pure and utter consistency at a level that's at an elite level, and it's pushing Man United to a point of where I believe that they should be at. Because if you've got the players of like Paul Pogba, if you've got you've got the keeper, you've got all of these great players in the team, and I'm assuming they're striving to be the best at what they do, and they're striving to be the best in the game. That's Man United. That's what they go for, right? Or am I misinterpreting that in the players that they sign?
You're misinterpreting the fact that we've not been close there. This is the big problem. So you mentioned big players like Paul Pogba. Last season, Paul Pogba was on the bench. Paul Pogba couldn't get a game. Under Jose. So this is the point I'm trying to make to you. You're expecting Martial to bring us to being a title challenger. What's he meant to do that by himself? What, he meant to do that by himself?
Of course not by himself, but I just do not. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself now.
Yeah. So you expect him to perform at a level of consistency?
Yeah, just at a level of consistency. That's okay. So
that gets by playing games then, yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so this season is he performing at a level of consistency?
I've said he's played well this season.
Yeah. Okay, so if he replicates this season next season,
then that is consistency to me.
And this is the first season in the last 3-4 years that he's been able to do this, by the way.
It's a long time. Geez.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Not to do with ability. This is the first season that he's been given the opportunity to do that.
He's got ability. I've not questioned his ability.
Okay. So we've cleared that up, Pat. Thank you very much for that very good question that you posed there.
Yeah. No, because obviously if someone's saying like they're not performing and not doing it, the question is then what have they got to do for you to consider them a performer or an elite player or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because it's like he's clearly got the talent to be like, okay, for example, like you've got a player like Harry Kane, like season in, season out, he's performing for for Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Aren't they around the same ages? And I understand one's a striker.
He plays every week as a striker.
But Martial has not been performing. Martial has not been performing to a level of, say, like a Harry Kane, someone that's like his age and just performing, adding to the team.
He got insulted by the Henry comparison, and then
he should not be compared to Henry at all. Come on, as an Arsenal fan.
And then let's move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever.
That's cheeky.
No more Martial. Doesn't call that martial law. Doesn't get to the whole other podcast.
Martial law, you know. we've got to have a martial
law.
Doesn't get to play.
But let's go back to Greenwood, though. Let's go back to Greenwood. Come on.
Doesn't get to play. Oh my God.
Doesn't get to play at Man United. Big Man United.
Can I make a point though? Because we talked about Greenwood. Because I noticed in your agenda you didn't talk about Saka. Can we take our hat off to this young man? No matter where he's been put on the pitch, he's still performed. Like
Saka's one of my favorite. Saka's one of my favorite players right now. Has been all season.
Bro, and the thing is, he just seems like if you look at his face, he seems like he just gets on with it.
Does he smile a lot?
Well, when he scores, or
when he scores. I guess he's playing happy though. But the smile is under his face. Smile's under his face, isn't it?
Yeah, because you know what, bro. Yeah. I can see he's smiling. He's smiling with his eyes.
With the eyes. Yeah. I see it. Because I know you have to smile nowadays.
I rate you. He's not what? Look at his age, and wherever they put him, he's just got on with it. Do you know what I mean? And he centre mid, left, right wing, like he's like a park. He plays anywhere and gets on with it. And I respect that. He's not the greatest right winger, no, but he makes the effort. He looked better than Ozil on the right wing. You get what I'm saying? The seasoned professional. So I'll just take my hat off to Saka because
was he playing on the right or the left?
He's a left winger who's played left wing back.
Left wing,
back,
I know.
Centre midfield and right wing.
What was he playing in the last game where he got man of the match?
Right wing.
Right wing. Okay.
Who was that against?
It's against Wolves, isn't it?
Wolves.
Oh, snap. Yeah. He scored, didn't it? We'll talk about
Yeah.
His goal was a bad boy goal.
Yeah.
Half volley. Yeah, it's a nice goal.
How long was he signed his contract for?
5 years.
Yeah.
5-year contract.
Yeah, he's a baller, bro.
Saka is a real G, 100%, because he was playing as a left back and he was just putting in and getting assist after assist after assist. Like he's a quality footballer. You lot got some ballers as well, because Martinelli's a baller as well.
Martinelli. You listen, you see Pepe, when he unlocks that level, yeah. But he said,
man's are laughing and scratching their heads.
It's cool.
No, but you know what? You know Pepe's got like all 16, 18. You know what? Pepe's numbers are actually not as bad as...
I hate stats. Forget the stats. Right. He won that one against... Do that. Show them same stats against top 16s.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate stats. That's a bullet.
I hear that.
To be the best player or the worst player. All in the same day. But when Pepe unlocks, he can laugh. Liverpool can laugh, fam. Because he ain't no Brewster. What's the other?
Come on,
Brewster.
We didn't spend
Brewster.
72 M's on Brewster though, bro. Come on, like there's a massive
Pepe's
difference
gonna be on
there,
bits.
isn't it? I hope so. I hope so for Arsenal.
No, you don't.
Really do. No.
No, you don't.
I hope so.
You want some Arsenal fan TV. That's what you want.
No. I watched those YouTube clips of Pepe. Baller. I thought it was a baller too. Trust me. I thought it was. I got sucked in by the YouTube clips. You know, like who can't? But you know, let's give him another season. It's his first season.
Yeah,
you get me?
Because I feel like he can do it.
You know, let's see next season.
Yeah, he doesn't come out. Like, to me, someone like Pepe should come out and say look at them and say, "You man are in trouble today." You know, I'm coming here to bend you up. I feel if he comes out like that, but that confidence, if he's got that in him, he'll cause trouble. But he doesn't. Sometimes I feel like he does it sometimes in the game, and then he doesn't do it again. And you're like, no, just be like that for the whole game, brother. Like, they'll be scared.
Sometimes it looks like he doesn't know what he's actually doing. Like he kind of reminds me of a young Zaha, basically. You remember when Zaha kind of didn't have it together?
What, beating someone 3 times?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Beating him and cutting back inside of him.
That's it. That's what I kind of see.
You're not in the playground. You're not the goal. It's not hard to go. You don't get points for dropping man on his ass.
But Pepe's got ability, but he just something.
You know what I would say to that though is it's his first season in the Premier League, innit?
Yeah,
and sometimes these players need a little bit of time just to work things out. So next season, he might have worked out that in the Premier League, you don't really get a lot of time on the ball. If I beat a man, I need to just be a bit more direct. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He might, by then, he might have it all together. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next season. Next season is going to be very interesting. But yeah, I've got. Do you want to say something, Wesley?
No, I was going to say, because this season's been very bad. But well done for Liverpool for winning one of the crappiest seasons ever, though.
Oh, wow, the shots. The asterisk. So you're saying it's an asterisk, yeah? Next to the title.
Come on. Don't worry. It was still say Liverpool. It was still in the history books. It was still say Liverpool 1920.
Won the first 12 months.
That's all it's going to say.
Ever. Yeah. you set history.
You know what?
Won a level, though, but well done for winning it.
Yeah,
man.
Love. Seps was mad with the video I sent him. Seps was mad with the video I sent him.
Oh, no, because
that's how mad he was.
No, I weren't mad. I was just saying that you don't need to be all up on there. You know, man was sucking you off. I'm like, nah, they don't need to be going that far.
You know,
give them their congratulations and keep it moving.
No, but what I have to rate, I have to say this, like to all the real football man them, that actually message man and congratulated man. Like after, except you're one of them. I ain't gonna lie. Like I have to respect that because I think it takes a man to really appreciate another man's football team for starters. Do you get me? And say, yo, boom, like you man do your team, despite all the rivalry and the talk and the backchat and the memes, and because we have obviously we have a lot of banter like in groups and everything online, Twitter, all sorts. So you know, like I respect everyone that was like, oh, congratulations, because like man, that's just real shit. Man.
Yeah, you got to show love and appreciate, you know, greatness. And I do think this Liverpool team is one of the great teams. I do think so. Like over the last year.
To show it to you, Pat. I hope I never have to show it to you.
I know. Likewise. I hope I never have to.
For Tottenham, I'll start watching rugby. I'm done. Before that God of Honor happens, I'm picking up bowls. I like bowls.
No, man, look, for me personally, obviously, Liverpool winning the league was painful. I do think that coronavirus has helped me. Do you know what I mean? That the period and coming to terms with it has helped. It helped it. But look, man, I have to give credit where credit is due. That's how I see myself. Do you know what I'm saying? And Liverpool won the league. I have to congratulate, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And if I'm honest with you, this whole period of what I'm going through as a Manchester United fan, the next time that we win the league is going to be probably the best time for me because I'm not saying this as I'm gloating or anything, but it got to a point where it just, we've won the league again.
It was normal, innit?
Wow. Yeah, man didn't get that.
I've never had a Man United fan actually say that to me, but now it kind of makes sense.
It does.
Man.
Makes sense.
I say I'm not even like, it's just like we would win it and it would just be like, oh, we won the league again. Yeah, well done. And we just keep it moving. Do you know what I'm saying? But now we ain't won it for so long. The hurt that I've had to endure in this last 7 years from people like Pat, from people like John, from people like you, And like the crap I've had to deal with, the next time we win the league, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I can understand from them man's point of view.
I'm gonna have to block and delete sense.
Yeah, but I can understand from them man's point of view there for how long it's taken for them to win the league. This time for the Liverpool man right now must be just amazing. So man, for that reason there, I have to congratulate them and
do you remember JB, man? JB, do you remember when me and used to go back at it all the time? And I'd be like, "Why are you talking to me? You ain't finished above us in like 10 years." Do you remember? Me and you used to go at it, and now so it just goes to show, man. It's crazy.
Like, it's crazy, but man. No, I respect it, man, and I can appreciate when a man can come and say to you like, "Boom."
Well done, man.
Team,
you lot,
so
definitely.
Trust me.
All right.
I respect it, man. Trust me.
Wicked. We're gonna drop out the top 4 in the relegation battle now because we run well over because of Anthony Martial. So we're gonna.
We had a mini Martial podcast.
Trust me, I don't know how that happened, boy.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
We got some questions to answer anyway. So
sorry, sir,
man. Somebody asks, is it possible for one person to not only make you fall out of love with your team, but out of love with the beautiful game itself? And then he's put in hashtags, looking forward to cricket. That's what man has said. And he's a Spurs fan. What do you think?
Oh, as in, so what, a manager coming in?
Yeah, repeat the question again, Sam.
Yeah, he said, is it possible for one person to not only make you fall out of love with your team, but out of love with the beautiful game itself? Now, Wesley, you could relate to this to a certain extent under Emery and me under Jose Mourinho. Is it possible for this to happen, Wesley?
Yeah, because remember the discussion, look, that me and your cousin had.
Yeah.
That was coming from a place of pain.
Yeah.
Even I've put my hand up and said towards the end of Wenger's reign, I fell back. I couldn't be so focused on football.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'm going to get pissed off every week, and that was me having to recognize that it is actually just a sport. I have to concentrate on life as well. Do you get what I'm saying? With Arsenal being decent, it's minor. My football's okay. Family life's okay. You know what I'm saying? How can football be the one thing that's winding you up? Like you're vexing life, like road rage because of the football game. But it was because of the frustration of not doing what we needed to do, and I knew we weren't going to do it. But it can just put you off. I know certain people are just that neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe it's true. Yeah.
It depends on the person, innit? Because like I hear what people say. For me, no, I can never fall out of love for Tottenham personally. And also, so, but I do get it. But also, I'm a realistic fan as well. I know where we've come from, so I can't expect us to also. I know we're not always going to be challenging in the top 4 and this and that. There might be some years of turbulence, but yeah, I guess you got to set your expectations and be realistic as well. I think, and then maybe you won't take it so personally. Because for you to fall out of love with the game, that means you're really taking it personal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
and that's not to say that you love the game any less than a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because some people might think like, are you even a real fan? But I don't think that's the case. Because like as you mentioned, Pat, I think again the team that obviously that I support, I think we've seen so many dark days, and I think naturally as a fan, you kind of it molds you. Do you see what I'm saying? So when the things that winning the league, Champions League, when it happens, it's sweet, like moi moi and plantain. It's sweet. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, like I don't think me personally I can ever fall out of love with football. Like I watch Sunday League football. How about that? Do you see what I'm saying? I watch, you know, like, and I just love seeing people, you know, So
I hear that. What I would say to him is, I've heard Arsenal fans of more recent times talk about what he's just said about falling out of love with football and falling out of love with the team. And I know, you know, 3 people now who's gone from supporting Arsenal to not supporting Arsenal anymore. And 2 were season ticket holders. The other person who has actually go to games as well. So I do think that it just depends on you as the fan. I personally agree, you know, look, I've been through some dark times in the last 7 years, but I will never stop supporting Manchester United and watching football. Do you know what I mean?
Simple.
So I get it's going to be down to the
I do
individual.
get it, but for me, never. Yeah. Yeah.
Who do you guys think is going to go down, and do you think that they will have enough to come back up? So, yeah, I put a post out in the week. This is a question as well. I put a post out in the week that everybody was sort of unanimous in the fact that they think Aston Villa, Norwich, and Bournemouth are down. So, would you three agree with those three as being the
yeah?
are going to get relegated?
I commented on the post, and that those are my teams exactly. I mean, Norwich already done and dusted.
Yeah.
Aston Villa looked out as well.
Yeah, Bournemouth are finished.
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Bournemouth,
you know what?
That's the one.
You know what? Bournemouth they could kind of claw it back, but then who goes down instead of them? That's the thing.
But look how they're playing. Look how they're playing.
I know. Yeah.
I think haven't they got one win in 21 or something like that?
I know, it's mad.
Wow.
They're taking licks.
Yeah, I'm surprised Eddie Howe hasn't been sacked personally, considering.
And he's on big money.
Do you think?
I know.
Do you think Eddie Howe has taken Bournemouth as far as he can go as a manager?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like he can't be any more successful with them as a team, right?
No,
exactly. With that model and what they do. But then saying that, they have spent some money. They brought in a lot of players, but it just hasn't worked out.
Can't do it then, Pat. You know what I mean? If they spent the money and he's still.
Yeah, you're right.
That
answers the question. You're right.
So out of those three teams, who do you think can bounce back?
I'd probably say Norwich because Norwich, that is their model. They're usually in the Premier League, down for 2 years, come back. They kind of know what they're doing. The other two, because it's fresh for them, well, Aston Villa as well. But yeah, I'd say Norwich. If I had to put my money on any of the teams, I'd say Norwich.
Only if they keep their players.
Yeah.
And they didn't spunk their money.
Which I don't think they are, because I think if Norwich do go down, Cantwell will leave, Aarons will leave. Bendur will leave.
Yeah, Bendur will leave, and even the other centre back will leave as well. The light skinned guy, the mixed race guy, he's going to leave as well. That's it. Yeah, no, not bad. It's I can't remember his name. He's a good player, but Godfrey, he's going to go as well. Yeah. So that's 4 players already gone, 100%.
Yeah.
So it'll be difficult
because they'll go to like Everton or West Ham or something.
Yeah.
So,
what do you reckon, Wesley? Who can bounce back?
I reckon I was just saying the same as Pat. I reckon Norwich, but I think it's because the team that's going down is the team that came up, basically. Do you get what I'm saying? But if they lose Cantwell on that, I think it would damage them. But I just think position-wise, because Bournemouth are going to lose, like Nathan, Aki, all them players are going to go.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Aki, King, Wilson. Yeah, Brooks. They're going to lose a lot of players, man.
Yeah. He just come back from injury, innit?
And he was 40 million last year they were talking about.
Yeah,
I mean?
I remember.
Brooks is a good player, man. Nice little tidy player
as well. Yeah, man.
And Aki would definitely go to a decent club as well. He's a good centre back.
Yeah, Nathan Ake is a good centre back, man.
Yeah, he is,
100%. Man.
Yeah, I worry for Villa because Grealish is definitely going to be gone.
They've got to let him go. They have to let him go, man.
I know. He stayed loyal to them last time. He could have bounced before. He stayed loyal to them. I think he's going to go. But he's gone off the boil, man. Do you remember, like, before we were all ranting and raving about Grealish and Maddison? They both kind of gone off the boil.
Well, Grealish was still performing. It's only been probably since lockdown that he's not been doing anything, and maybe a little bit before. But it's only so much you can do in that team.
You know
what I'm saying?
Like, you get sick of it. I don't want to drag the team every week. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I want to pass the ball to someone who can knock it back to me in the same kind of way. I don't always have to be the guy, and you're gonna give me a bad pass. I've got to chase down.
No, I hear you. There's only so much you can do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's such a good player, though. It'll be interesting to see where he does end up, though. Personally.
I think he's going to go Man United. Samson's smiling. I think he's going to go Man United. I think Grealish.
Like that smile there, John. Is he the smile? See the white tee?
But yeah, Grealish is untidy. I mean, I was saying it from years ago. I wanted them at Spurs. A lot of my Spurs boys were like, no, but now they see it. Like,
not gonna lie, when I heard Spurs were after him, I was laughing. I was like, what do you want this youth for? 40 million. But then I've seen it. And because you know what it is sometimes with good players in the Championship, they don't always adjust to the Premier League. So my thing was, where do you get 40 million from? Do you know what I'm saying? Like how do you know he can perform at this level? But he's proven that even in a team that's in a relegation battle, he's like managed to get goals and assists. So
mate, he was 40 mil. Man United got involved. He's 80 mil. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. That's like Man United tax, you know.
Trust me, we get robbed.
That's a real tax.
Just quickly then. So another question. from the Golden Circle. So this is to me, but I'm going to ask you guys as well. So is this the team finally catapult United back to success? Where would you strengthen? So if I was to put this question to you guys first, do you think this Man United team is the making of the team to put us back to success and strengthening and challenging for the title?
Potentially, yeah.
What, next season?
Yeah.
No, not next season.
Okay.
He hasn't specified on time, but for me,
basically, can they build off this? Basically,
yeah, basically,
of course.
Yeah. I'd say yes. Yeah, I'd say yes.
Guys going to be there for a good couple of years.
Yeah, I think you've actually got a half decent squad.
Yeah.
I still think that the squad could need strengthening. Do you know what I mean?
We know you. But
I still think because okay, like for example, you've now got a Greenwood, amazing player, but I think someone like James hasn't really lived up to the hype. Maybe I don't think he could. I don't think he's.
But then saying that as a squad player, that's kind of what you want, isn't it? I'm not saying that, of course he could do better, but he's a good squad player.
This is it. But then the gap between him and Greenwood is just going to get like this and that, this and this. And when he comes on, as fans, you just get frustrated with someone like James. Does that make sense? So
he's someone I would keep in. He's someone I would keep in my squad, if you get what I mean. But I do think in terms of this Man United team, definitely they look good. They look fluid as well. It looks like Ole now knows his team. And I mean, obviously we'll see how things go from now to the end of the season. But
I think Bruno has been a big factor, though.
He's definitely
making them attractive again.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
If Man United can get top 4 this year, then that's huge.
Yeah, I would say that's the aim, like for next season for sure. But if it's challenging
and they build off that.
And the only reason why I'm saying that, Sam, and this is again, I'm not trying to shoot down Martial or whatever, but it's like. Hear me out.
Martial had to come in.
Hear me out. No, because Man United haven't had a poignant goal scorer since RVP. So until they get a goal scorer that's going to come in and be banging in goals left, right, and centre, I can't see them challenging personally.
Yeah. So what I would say to that question is, yes, I do believe now this is a team to build from. I think getting Bruno in, which we should have got him in the summer. That whole transfer still baffles me to this day because a lot of United outlets were saying it was a done deal. And then towards the end, he was going to Spurs. So it just confuses me what happened there. I don't understand. By the way, we got him in January and he was the missing piece of the puzzle. I think our 11 now is as strong as anybody's really on paper. Now, obviously, the system and everything that Liverpool work with and City work with means that they're a level above. But I think on paper, personally, I think it rivals those teams. Where I have issue is the squad. I don't think our squad is good enough as a whole because I saw our B team against Norwich in the FA Cup the other day, and we lacked that oomph.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where we do need to strengthen. And I know Daniel James is he works hard and everything like that, and he's a decent squad player. But if we're talking about getting to the point where we're challenging for the league, then you can't carry players like that, in my opinion, because what you need to be able to do is bring, not necessarily like for like, that's going to be quite difficult, but you got to bring in, if one player is not able to play, you got to bring in a next man that's going to be of a level. And I don't think Daniel James is of a level. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to bring off Greenwood and bring on the next man who's going to be having an impact
on the game
from the sort of like what a Greenwood is going to do. At the moment, we've got Jesse Lingard, Andreas Pereira, Diogo Dalot, Daniel James, all of these men like that are waiting in the wings. Mata, they're not going to change a game. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where we now have to strengthen. And over a period of time, I believe we can do that. To answer his question, I think we need to get, me personally, I'll spend money on a centre-back. Another centre-back I'll spend money on. I'll spend money on a right winger. And I'll spend money on maybe another central midfielder, potentially. That's where I'll spend money on.
So would you stay with Ole? If you get top 4, Or even
Yeah.
if you finish fifth or sixth, for example, which I think you probably will finish higher than that anyway. But if you finish fifth or sixth, would you stay with Ole now? Would you stick with Twist?
So I've said it now, and this is what I mean by, I hold my hands up. I couldn't see it before. I see it now. I see what he's trying to do. He's got better players now, and I feel like he's earned the right to be given the chance to try and take us forward. Now, if he doesn't, then he has to move on. But at the moment, we've seen from January where this is where I thought that we would literally go, because our fixtures, it's just so happened now that our fixtures after lockdown on paper are all easy because we played all our hard games. And it was when I looked at that fixture list when we did the podcast prior to Christmas, Pat, we was in bad form then, and then I saw our fixture list from the new year, and I just thought to myself, how the hell do we get through that when we can't even get through these games now? You know what I'm saying? We got Chelsea away, City away, all of these teams, and then we got 6 points from City and thing. Do you know what I'm saying? City and Chelsea. So I think personally he's earned the right to continue his work, and then we'll see what happens, man. We'll see where we can go next season. We'll see who we bring in. There's talks that Jadon Sancho has been agreed. There's undercover, there's talks that it's been agreed.
Terms, I see terms have been agreed.
Terms has been agreed with the player, and that's coming from Duncan Castles and Fabrizio. That Fabrizio guy, I don't know his name, and they're two pretty solid journalists. So who knows, man? We'll see what happens next season.
Are you excited, Sam?
For the first time,
as a Man United, that's what I'm saying. As a Man United fan,
100%, man. And this is the first time in a long time I've been I'm really excited because Bruno Fernandes is a brilliant player. Pogba is one of my favorite players in world football. And when I look at my front three, for a lot of people that don't rate Martial, I do. And I'm happy to see him as our number 9 because I think he will score goals. Rashford, I think he will score goals as well. He's been poor since he's come back from lockdown. He won't get the knock that he should, but because he's Marcus Rashford and he does a lot of work outside of the football, but he's been poor. But for me, he's going to continue to get better and better and better. Mason Greenwood is going to continue to get better and better and better. And going forward now, I can see light at the end of the tunnel, man. I think in the next few years, we're going to be challenging. We're going to be challenging again for that title. 100%. All right, then. Gents, it's been a long one. It's been a
good one.
It's been
it's been entertaining. I like how
don't try and edit out the Martial bit, to make it fit in. Don't try just taking the tongue back.
Almost the whole thing, the whole thing.
No, man. We don't do no editing on everyone's a pundit.
Yeah.
It's just off the tab. We just roll and we just put it out there, man.
I love it, man. I love it.
John. But you know what? I love that because that's man coming with the passion. I may not agree with him, but at least man's coming with that passion. You know what I'm saying?
This is football, man, and I think like we all have that kind of we all think we know better. Like that's not to say that I'm better than you. Do you know what I'm saying? We just know our stuff, and I just have my opinion on things. As Seb does. So man.
There's I'm very protective of 2 Man United players, and
for real,
Martial and Pogba are both of them. I'm very protective, and the reason why I am is because I feel like both of them have not been treated correctly at Manchester United Football Club, and especially I don't want to continue going on because we go on and on and on. But Martial, when I talk about we're all human beings at the end of the day, guys. You know what I'm saying? We look at these, celebs or footballers. They're just human beings, people. And when you're a man and you've been given a shirt and then you bring in Ibrahimovic and then
he's doing it again,
and then you just dash away man's shirt.
He's doing it again.
You're gonna feel it. There's been other things going on in his life that man has not done. You're gonna feel it, man. So
hey! You don't bring your outside problems to work.
Straight. That's that managerial. That's that coming to the office talk.
Yes, Wesley.
That's that chairman talk.
That's that leading talk, mate.
Yeah, Daniel.
Because my chairman doesn't even say nothing in the club.
Oh gosh. Anyway, you man, sign out, man. Starting with you, Wesley. Sign out.
Yes, man. Big Wesley. It's been a pleasure as always.
Big up. John,
as always, I love the show, man. Next time, man. Next time, don't worry.
big up, John.
Big up, man,
and
big
Pat.
up.
Yeah, as always, it's always a pleasure. And as we always do, we got to do the little dance, you lot. You lot ready, yeah? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hey!
Yeah. All right, this was Everyone's a Pundit. We are your pundits, and I hope you join us next week. Peace.